All right. So, give me that, my assistant. Video's going, by the way. Okay. We are going to work on some healing. Getting the dog to. First thing I'm going to do is get the dog to come to us, and then I'm going to do a couple things to teach them that when I say heal, that means this position here, whether you're over there and you need to come to me or while we're moving. So there's a couple different drills we'll do, but I wanted to show you me getting the dog out, and I will probably also, I'll just do both dogs in this one video, so it's going to be one long one with both dogs. We're going to start with Rex, but we'll go through each drill. I'll explain stuff. You might hear some of these other dogs whine and bark, because Hugo over there, I literally have a lineup of German Shepherds over here. Every dog over there is a German Shepherd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 German Shepherds. I have a little pit bull mix. I'm not sure what she is. And then my dog upstairs, he's actually a lab German Shepherd mix. So today's a lot of German Shepherds, huh, bud?
Yeah.
All right. So let's start with Mr. Rex here.
Rexy bud. T-Rex.
Good boy.
He isn't fierce like a T-Rex though, so why can't
He's pretty fierce. Let's go.
Yeah,
You're next, Hugo. Okay, and that's what I do for the whining stuff. Make it kind of suck. It's going to be hard. Right, will you take that blanket and drape it over Luna? Just so she's less likely to whine and stuff. Okay. There we go. And then Hugo's, will you take that and drape it over the top of his also? Hugo is also East. So Hugo and Gus, like I've told you before, he's Eastern descent also. So he looks a lot like Luna. And then Gus, his brother, is a different line. He's the tricolor, big and tricolor, more like what Rex looks like. So, okay. Okay. Sorry, I was a little ill prepared for this. I should have done better. So what I'm going to do is let him kind of walk away. I'm going to pull him always to my left side. Yes, good boy. He's always going to be on my left side. I'm going to train both dogs to the left side. So when you're walking, it's not going to be left and right. They're always going to be on the left. If you want to change this later on, we can. It's not a huge deal. Just let me know as soon as you watch this video if you want to switch it. That way we can get more reps of one on the left, one on the right, or whatever. I personally just think it's easier to walk all the dogs on one side, even if you have multiple dogs. So they just go next to each other. It's nothing crazy. I kind of let them figure it out of who goes where. Also, when we teach them to heel, they're going to come and they're going to sit down. I don't really teach the command sit unless the dog already knows it. Then I just reinforce it more, but just makes it easier. 99% of the dogs I train already know how to sit. So the easiest one for anybody to train. So I don't put a lot of energy into it since most dogs already do it. So we're going to do, let's go. Let him wander. And all I'm going to do is pull him back. I'm going to take a big step backwards, maybe a couple, and then turn him towards me. A couple steps up. Yes, good boy. Good. Ideally, it's going to be what I call shoulder to shin. His shoulders lined up with my shin. This is where I want him to walk. Okay. It's a little bit loose in the placement. Like he can be a little behind, he can be a little ahead. I don't want him too far ahead. But it's not about him being in this perfect heel position. It's about him just being here and not pulling on the leash trying to go everywhere. Okay? Even on the walks, when I say heel, it's just this general area. But the most ideal is shoulder to shin. That way when I'm walking, I can still see him out of the corner of my eye. I don't have to look down and make sure he's there. Okay? Some trainers will train head to hip, where he is literally like his muzzle's lined up with my hip, my butt. I'm okay with that. I don't care, but just my personal preference is I want to be able to kind of see him out of the corner of my eye just a little bit without having to look down to make sure he's there. If his head is a little bit forward, I can see him kind of getting amped up if there's another dog or a person, and I can cap it before there's an explosion of anything. So, as an example, me and Rex, I know Rex doesn't like that, one dog at least. Me and Rex are walking, and you see that dog coming. And you can see out of the corner of your eye, he's all perked up, he's ready, like, you can see that the anticipation is building. You can make that adjustment. You can correct, and we'll get into that kind of later on our next one-on-one. You can do a correction, a little pop, to stop him from getting overly excited and change direction or something like that. So you can easily see him. If he's walking kind of head to hip, he's more behind you. So now you just have to look back, and I feel like it's just a little more difficult. It's a small difference, but I feel like it makes a big difference in the grand scheme of things. So we're gonna do it again. Let's go. Yes, good boy. Good. And I'm using the stairs to my advantage. There's stairs behind you. He's kind of wanting to go out, so I'm using that to kind of tempt him. He goes to the end of the leash, and we work on bringing him back. So now I'm going to start putting in the command because he's doing it so well. Let's go. Heel. Guide, guide, guide. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good. Let's go. Heel. Yes, I'll take that too. I'm not too worried about it. Ideally, he will sit, but we're not moving, so sometimes they'll do it this way. So, let's go. Heel. Yes, good. So as we're training this, we're not always going to have to do this big, it's called a drop step. I don't know if you guys played sports at all, but in basketball they call it a drop step. We take this big step backwards, and then we just step basically feet together. That's kind of the motion of getting him to do it. Take a really big drop step, maybe a couple steps forward. Sit. Yes, good. Good ball. And then we come here and we just kind of wait. So again, we're just teaching him to come to this position. Over time, the more we do this, the more he understands heel. We won't have to take such a big step. So maybe it'll turn into just a little one in a turn. Maybe then it's just a turning of the shoulders. Then it's nothing over time. So again, it just takes reps for them to do it. And we start making the criteria higher, as in less movement from me as the human. You just need to know what heel means. Let's go. Let's go. Heel. Yes. Good one. Back up, dude. Alright. So you can do that too, kind of run backwards. That builds the recall better. Getting them moving and moving a little faster makes them want to run and have a little more fun with it. Let's go. Heel. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Good. Good boy. Let's go. So now we're just going to do a bunch of reps. Heel. Yes. Good. Good. Heel. Good. So by walking backwards so drastically, we turn a little, because this is only a 4-foot leash, we turn a little 4-foot recall into 10, 12, 15 feet, depending on how far back we go. So that's why I'm kind of doing the running backwards a little bit, just to make the recall longer distance without putting on a big, long, crappy, manageable leash. Let's go. You. Yes, good boy. Oh, you're a good boy, Rex. Good. Heel. Yes. Good. I'm really not using hardly any leash tension. He's already starting to like track me and follow me. Okay, so that's the recall segment of it. You can do this anywhere. He eventually stops just leaving your side. You can create things that are just go outside. Typically something out there is going to be more interesting. And then at that point, you just do the exact same thing. You might just have to give a couple pops on the leash to get him to come to you. Okay? That's really it. I would say he knows it pretty good. Let's go. Rex, heel. Yes. Good boy. Good. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, as long as you're here by my side, good. In the petting zone, like this is half the petting zone, you come into my bubble where I can pet you. I don't have to like lean over and get you over here and pet you. This is my petting zone, right here. Not behind me, that's not the petting zone. Anywhere to the left, right, and front, petting zone. Where I can easily reach down without me moving. I can pet you. Let's go. Let's go. Over here. So now this can be kind of part of actually teaching him to walk with me. You just start walking back and forth. I don't tell him anything. I just walk back and forth. And you can already see he doesn't want to leave me too far. And he keeps looking at me. He's checking in. Yes. Good boy, huh? Yes. Good. You. Yes. Good. Yes. Good boy. Yes. Good. You just walk around. So you can do, there's many ways to do this. This will be way, he's going to probably nail it in here just because there's low distractions besides the dogs. Sit. Yes, good boy. Pretty low distraction, so he's just like, all right, yeah, cool. I'm right here with you, buddy. But once we get outside, it'll probably get a little bit harder. Right when I decided to start training, it started raining, so we might go out later for another session, but pretty easy. So this one, you just walk with them. You take the short leash, so sometimes I will wrap it around my hand, but let's move a little closer. Sit. Come on, boy. No. Yes. Yeah, hopefully that'll work. It's right here. Sit. Yes, good. So when you're walking them, you don't want to have it tight like this, okay? No tension. We want it loose. So kind of what I imagine, there's enough that the metal part just dangles, okay? That would be perfect. As I hold my hand here, there's that. If he tries to take off anywhere, he has very little room to go before he corrects himself or I correct him, okay? And it makes my corrections way easier. It's just a little wrist pop. Either way, whatever I need to do, it's just a little wrist pop. Though there is a big handle here, it just makes it a pain in the ass to try to fix him because I have to use my whole entire arm. If I can get it real short, all it is just a little wrist pop, depending on which direction I need to pop it, okay? So when you're doing the heel work, when you're working on actually walking with him, there's multiple things you can do. You can do straight lines, which is you walk forward, step, and pivot. You stay on the line as if you're walking your sobriety test. Okay? Hopefully you've never done that, but Josh, you sound like a little rebel. You might have been on one or two. All right? This is all we do. We just keep going, walking back and forth. He's got 4 legs. He's going to catch up. He'll be faster than us. Okay? But again, it's a sobriety line. You just keep walking back and forth. Now, you're going to get dizzy. It's going to happen. Everybody does. So, you can do it that way. Then, you can turn the other direction. So this one, you are turning to your right. Because your dog is on the left, you're turning to your right. Okay, this is what we call an outside turn. The dog turns on the outside of you. Walk, walk, walk. Outside turn. Straight line pivot. Now, one that I actually really enjoy training is the inside turn. But it does become difficult for the owners just because of I've been doing this a while. So the coordination is easier for me versus you. So you're going to look goofy doing this. But the one I like to do, well, there's 2 variations. Let's just go with this. 2 variations. There's the easy one and the hard one. The hard one looks way cooler off leash and makes more sense off leash. But 99% of the time, your dog will be on leash when you're walking, to be completely honest. So it's not necessary, but it looks cool when you do it. That's why I like it. Always look cool. Right, Braden? ABC, always be cool. All right. So the easy one, the simple one.
Always be
Cool.
C.
You're getting it, buddy. You're getting it.
Now your ABCs and you'll know the joke.
There you go. So the easy one is the inside turn. So this time we're turning and the dog stays on the inside of us. So how this works is you're going to walk. Let's go. You would say heel at that point. No, let's go. And what you're going to do is you're going to use your inside leg to cut your dog off, okay? And then make your turn. Rex is a big boy, so you might have to take a couple of steps to do this one. But basically, he should just pivot where he's at. Why I say use the inside leg, for whatever reason, if any dog decides to lunge or bite at that moment, okay, if they're agitated, whatever it may be, and you step here and they decide to bite you, it's a butt cheek or the side of your thigh or your back. The worst thing I could probably ever imagine a dog biting me is if I use my outside leg and I put my nuts right in his face. I don't want to get bit in the no-no place. So I highly recommend not turning this direction because of that. There's also your main arteries in your legs, but for me, as a male, I don't want to get bit in the nuts, to be completely honest. So,
because
it's going to really hurt. Getting bit by a dog hurts no matter what, but in my no-no area,
that's our weak spot.
I can only imagine. It's the man's weak spot. So, use your inside leg and just pivot around him and just go. Okay? Every time you do this, you just turn and go. You don't turn and wait for him. You don't hesitate and then go. You just turn and go. All right? That turning and going is going to give him like a little correction on that if he doesn't move fast enough. If he's not paying attention, he's going to feel that little pop. Okay? Next tip on that. Try not to chicken wing. Try not to let your arm go far back with him. Keep your hand right here. Okay? If you have a problem with pulling your arm up and you end up walking chicken wing, unless you want to walk like that, put your hand in your pocket. Okay? Hold this, put your thumb here, hold on to your pocket, pants, whatever, and walk that way. Boop, boop, boop. That way, if you start pulling your hand up and tightening on it, you're going to pull your pants up and you're going to feel weird. So, the cool looking one. Always be cool, right? Heel. Alright. The one that's going to look really cool off leash, very complicated. So what you're going to do, you're going to use your outside leg, step. You are going to transfer the leash to your right hand. Okay? Let go. You're going to pivot. And then you're going to take it back behind your back. And then you're going to walk forward. Heel. Good boy. Okay? And now this way the dog actually moves around you. You don't move around the dog. Okay? This one looks really cool off leash and is easier off leash because if you think about it, if you're off leash and you decide to make a turn, you're going to end up like running into him, maybe tripping and falling. Again, 99% of the time you're going to have your dog on leash when you're doing this, but it's whatever. Okay? Those are your two options of what you want to do. Rex, heel. Good boy. So again, in front, pull around behind you, and then pull him up to the left side. Front, behind, pull around next to you. And they just learn to go around us, okay? Now, so those are just lines. And there's also boxes. There's lines and there's figure eights. So those are kind of the big three. The figure eight is basically putting boxes fluidly together. Also, there's another one I do called a castle top, which when I was young and I would draw castles, I would go up, right, down, right, left, up, and I don't know which freaking way that was. So boop, 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 boop. So what I do is I walk in a castle top. So what that's going to look like from over here, I'm going to start over here. I'm going to walk forward. I'm going to make a 90-degree turn, walk forward a couple steps, make a 90-degree turn, walk forward, left, left, right, right, and then turn around and run away from the child. But the castle top, if you're doing that, you're making left turns, you're making right turns, inside, outside turns. And then you can throw in a line in there. Just mix it up. Keep the dog guessing. Because just for practice reasons, we want the dog paying attention to us. If we're constantly turning and changing directions, the dog's going to be like, what the hell, man? Like, I guess I will pay attention to you because if I look away, you turn and it becomes a pain in the ass of walking. So then they start paying attention. And that's what we want. We want them paying attention to us versus whatever's out there. Okay? That's going to bring down the barking, the lunging, the pulling drastically. So, for the time being, when you walk the dogs, take them individually and do these drills. Well, I guess one more. I need to teach you the figure eight, which basically you just walk in a figure eight. As big as you want, small as you want. Right? You just turn, instead of being like 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree, you're fluid. And this does inside and outside turns. Okay? Good boy, Rex. But you can already see he's pretty much watching me and where I'm going. He's getting tired of all my bullshit of turning around and yada, yada, yada. So, he does pretty well with it. So, okay, I'm going to put Rex away. I'm going to get Luna out, and I'm going to do all those things again. Actually, I'm going to show you one extra drill with her that I didn't do with Rex. Rex kept laying down and seemed a little tired, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to show you one more thing I actually like to do with the dogs to help just reinforce that this spot right here is heel. But yeah, and you also can see like the crate stuff that I'm going to do. So. Yeah. Yes, good boy. Good job, buddy. Good job. There you go. Alright, I'm going to switch over this blanket because Rex can be a big old whiny baby too. Luna, you ready? You ready, Luna? So if she steps out, she's getting the door closed. I want her head here, but I don't want her stepping out. And again, just because the leash goes on does not mean you get to keep coming out. All right? Good girl. Let's go. Yes, good girl. So it's all permission based. Okay, we're not just letting her do it all willy-nilly how she wants. Okay. Brayden, will you hand me my water? Silver cup. Thank you. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. All right. So, before I get started with everything else, since I've already explained everything, I'm just going to get a lot of reps in with her. Besides this drill that I want to show you. So, get her into position. Yes, good girl. Good. I don't have any food for you right now. So, okay. All this drill is going to be real easy. We're just going to make turns. So, staying stationary, and then I'm going to turn this way. And I might take a step forward to pull her into position. Yes. See how I don't want her doing that. So no reward, no love or affection. Yes. Sit. Sit. Yes. Good girl. Good. Okay. So take that turn. Sit. Yes. Good. A little sideways is okay. Sit. Sit. Yes. Sit. Sit. Yes. Good. Good girl. Yes. Good. Yes. Sit. Well, the floor's slick. I guess I'll give it to her. Look at me not holding her accountable and giving in, huh? Sit. Yes. Good. Heel. Sit. Yes. No. Sit. Yes. No. Sit. Sit. Yes. Good girl. Huh? All right. Sit. The slick floor messes with some of the dogs, to be honest. So. So maybe we won't turn. We'll just walk forward. Yes. Good. Again, just pressure on, pressure off. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. I have been giving her some pops just because she knows sit. You guys have taught her that well. So, pressure on. What are you doing? All right, we're just going to start doing a heel. I'm going to skip that drill, come back to it. So we're just going to walk. Yes, good girl. Good. Good girl. Yeah. Yes. Good. So I purposely walk at a pretty slow pace because a lot of these dogs want to go, 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 go 100 miles an hour, especially her line. That was an Eastern European. they're bred to work until they die. Literally to the point like they'll kill themselves. They'll work so hard they will kill themselves. Their heart will essentially explode. It's what they're bred to do. So by slowing it down, it drives them mad. And that's where you start getting a lot of that fighting me for it. And it's like, no, I'm just on my nice little leisure walk. No big deal. Okay? There we go. So now she's come down. She's come back to my level. Let's do a couple insides. Good girl. Good. Sit. Yes. Good girl. Good. Now, when you do your walking, when you go for your walk, you're going to get her roughly into position. It doesn't have to be picture perfect. And you're going to go heel. And you're going to walk. Okay. Heel. Yes. Good girl. Heel. Yes. Good. Every turn you say heel. Heel. Yes. Good girl. Heel. Yes. Good. Sit. Sit. Yes. Good. I didn't explain that with Rex, and I didn't really do it with him either because I was talking about everything else. So every turn when you're doing the heel drills, you're going to say heel on every turn. So your 90-degree turns, you say heel. Your left turns, your right turns, your inside turns, your outside turns, all turns, you're going to say heel. Okay. This is just to get repetition. Eventually, you say heel to start, and then that's it. And then y'all walk for your mile, 2 miles, 45 minutes, 2 hours, however long y'all walk for. And that's it. There will be times when it's like, okay, you release them, you can go potty, sniff around, whatever. And then when you're ready, heel, you come back into position, we go for a walk. Finish our walk, okay? Right now, we want to keep it very structured. 6 months to a year from now, you can get a little looser with it and everything, but for the next 6 months or so at least, I would say structured walks, release them in the middle to sniff and go to the bathroom and kind of be dogs. And then when you're actually walking, it's back to it. Okay. Good girl. You have really good eye contact right there. Okay. So yeah, we're going to do some more walking just to keep her in the right spot. Good girl. Heel. Yes. Good girl. Yes. Good. Heel. Good girl. Heel. She doesn't do so well with those inside turns. So let's do it. Heel. Heel. Yes, good. Heel. Good girl. Heel. Yes, good girl. Heel. Good girl. Good. Heel. She's almost anticipating it now. Good. Sit. Yes, good. Good girl, sweetie. You're way sweeter than Hugo. Hugo's the other black shepherd. You're way sweeter than he is. He's kind of a jerk. All right. So yeah, that's walking drills. Nothing crazy you got to do about it. I think she's starting to understand. Like next to me, just chill. So now we need to teach her the recall part of it. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the big drop step. I'm going to heel. Yes, good girl. Good. And the reason I like doing it this way too is the dog is right here on your left side. Most of the time their head is right next to you. You can, once they're ready and they're doing it off leash, you can put their collars on, you can clip the leash on, you can pet them, you can feed them, you can do whatever you need to at that point. Make it pretty nice. Gonna heel. Yes, good girl. Good. She's stopping kind of far back, but that's okay. Heel. Yes, good girl. Good. She learning. She learning, huh? Heel. Yes, good girl. Good. And like I said, as of right now, I don't really care if they lay down, as long as they're coming into the position. If she were to come to me and then lay way back there, that'd be an issue, but she's right next to me, that's fine. I'm gonna heel. Yes. Good girl. Good. Heel. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. Heel. Yes. Good girl. Good. Might need to teach her like to come out a little bit further. I'm gonna heel. So a little wider. And then she can make that turn. Yes! Good girl. Good. Good girl. Excuse me. Let's go. Good girl. Heel. Heel. Yes. Good. Good girl. Heel. Yes. Good. Very good. Okay. I'm actually going to end right there with her because Brayden being a big distraction. I have Mavi, the really nervous pit bull, just in place. You might be able to see her now that she popped up. Just laying there in place and walking her by, give Mavi some training too. And Luna was a little interested at first, but I gave her a little pop. She kept moving, and that's fine. So some rules to the walk. No peeing, no sniffing, no pulling, no barking, nothing. Like the only thing you need to do is walk nicely next to me. Nicely being the key word. If you're doing it not nicely, we're going to change directions. So say Luna starts pulling ahead. I'm going to say heel, and I'm going to turn and give her a pop. If she starts going that direction, I'm going to turn as best I can and go that way. Worst case, I just turn around. But I want to make sure I go more or less the opposite direction that they are wanting to go. So they kind of dictate the walk. It's just we do the opposite of them. That way we stay in control. Okay, this is my walk. You get to come with me. You don't get to act like a hooligan. It's like, again, like kids. I'm going to the grocery store. You get to come with me. But as soon as you start acting up, what happens?
You gain control.
I gain control. So, roughly the same thing. A little pop. Brayden gets popped a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
A little pop on top of the head, a little flick to the side of the head. Nothing crazy, but enough that he's like, oh shit, Dad means it. Got it. So, I do not condone child abuse, but I do condone child discipline. So, well, this is going to be on the internet, so whenever I run for president one day, this is going to pop up and they're going to say I abused my child. What do you say? He doesn't abuse me.
He doesn't abuse me.
Perfect. All right, guys. So yeah, that's it. Leave it on. I want them to see me put her in here.
And that's how you put them in a crate.
Can I? Yes, good girl. Good.
That's how you put a dog in a crate.
So, with doing the crate stuff, I make them stop. I don't want them to just bust into there as soon as I open the door. Boom, they go flying in. I don't want that. So I want there to be like a pause and then like a nice little just walk in. Okay. Yeah, it can be kind of nice when they go flying in there, but I want them to be calm, cool, and collected. That's what all of this training is about. The dog being calm, cool, and collected as much as possible. So you can stop it now. Let me know if you got any questions.